Mute myself.
Okay, good. This is we're recording now. So this is Vince with Listings to Leads, and we're talking with the Remax Premier over in Wesley Chapel, right? So you guys have been with us for a while, and it's always good to kind of get a refresher. And right now, we have launched kind of 3 new tools or features that you definitely want to take advantage of. And so if you haven't logged in lately, we're going to talk about those things kind of right now. One of them is we call kind of a Facebook ad creator. And this is incredible. Florin, I don't know if have you seen it? Like we just launched it last week. And
no, I have not. I have not seen it.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of show us that part first, because it's pretty remarkable. So if you guys have known, as long as you've known us, and I'm sure even before you've known us, we have talked about Facebook advertising, right? You've heard about it, and it's pretty compelling. Everybody is there. Your target market is there. And then so Facebook has a couple ways you can boost ads, or you can boost posts, or you can go create an ad. And so we have been around, Listings to Leads been around for over 10 years, and we've been on Facebook advertising even, when it first came out, which has only been like 6 years. And one thing we have seen is thousands of our clients running ads, spending money, banging their heads against Facebook to do it right or wrong, because they often make mistakes, right? And that's understandable because Facebook, it has a very powerful advertising platform, but it also is designed for the entire world, right? It's not just designed for real estate. It's designed to sell cars and mattresses and flowers and all kinds of great things. But you are in the real estate space. And so we have recently created an application that allows you to create an ad in about 3 clicks. I think that's what Scott says, kind of 3 clicks. So right up here in your account, you all have a tab that says Ads Beta. And this is where you create an ad. And I'm going to click it here. And right now, it says, what listing do you want to choose? Now, all of your listings will be in your account, and you can obviously select any one you want. Now, I'm going to point out something here. Some of my listings are for sale, and some are under contract, and some are sold. Some are coming soon. And you may not know this about Listings to Leads, but the call to actions on the tools behind the posts, when something is for sale or coming soon or open house, we're looking for buyers. The call to actions are to get buyers. When something is under contract or pending or sold, the call to actions are to get listing leads. So the reason why I say that is we always tell people, hey, you gotta promote things when they're, for sale to get buyers. And don't forget to go over there and post again when it's sold, right? Or when it's under contract, because we're going to help you get more listings. And I still will say that now, but what I will tell you is doing it correctly is a real bear. And so we've seen so many clients say, God, I did this. I tried to post something. I spent $30 or I spent $50 and I got 1 lead, right? Or I got 2 leads. And that's in contrast to people saying, oh, I've run an ad and I got 25 leads this weekend, right? So we're going to run 2 ads real quickly right here. I've got a property that's for sale. I'm going to choose the property. I'm going to click create ad. And I always have this error right here, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. You'll notice that it's showing you the ad over here, and it'll show you your business page over here. We automatically check the housing category, which if you don't know, this is a requirement on Facebook. And then you can choose if you've got multiple business pages, you can choose the one that you want it to go to. But we're going to default to your default page. And if you want to change any of the language here, you can do it over here. It's not necessary. But here, this is the one thing you got to do. You got to type in the name of the town that you want it to go into. And the reason why is that's where it's going to push, right? And so we're going to need that. And it's always going to give you a 15-mile radius. You can select a pixel code if you've got it. If you don't use it, you don't need to worry about it. We set up a budget of $35 for 7 days. That's $5 a day. And you can change that because, hey, I want to spend $20 for 4 days, right? And boom, you publish. So really the only thing you need to do is type in the city where you want this to be targeting, right? Now, if you know anything about special interests, like, you're interested in water or water skiing or real estate or whatever, you can type in those sort of demographics in this box where it says interest. But for a lot of our clients, they don't need to do that. They just need to be able to get this ad that looks like this with a nice, photo on it and with a landing page behind it to capture leads. And as you can see, it's pretty much dead easy here. And we have coded all the things so that you can't make mistakes. All you got to do is type in the city where you're targeting and click and click go, right? And then Facebook will review it and then it'll be live on Facebook. So let's go do that one more time. And that property there was for sale. So this time I'm going to pick something that's sold. And you guys may not know this about listings to leads, but marketing your properties when they're under contract or pending or sold, some of the strongest listing leads you're ever going to find anywhere are in those by using those tools. And if we tell people this, and you might have heard me or Scott say this, like, hey, you got to advertise your sold advertising, right? And then you go do it and you don't get any results. And that's because, I'll tell you why. It's because you don't know to find this little button that's buried in Facebook called placements. You see right here, it's placements. Now we edited the placements. We put it on desktop because we know that most agents in Facebook, I could go show you, but honestly, it's just a waste of time. I say this every time I have a Facebook training class. If you're trying to get listing leads, get off of mobile, right? And then that's pretty much it. So we've coded this thing. We've created this application so that if it is pending or sold or under contract, it's going to be set up the right way for you. So again, all you need to do, if you want to change your budget, you can change your budget, but type in the location and click go. Now, if you've ever run a Facebook ad yourself, you know that this is incredibly simple. And we have basically put everything in place so that you really shouldn't make mistakes and your ad should get approved. And it should have the best things on there. It's going to have emojis. It's going to have hashtags. And this is just to help optimize, your results. So that's a super cool thing. It is in your account now. If you've had trouble with running Facebook ads, I would tell you you need to use this. And I'd also tell you this, Facebook is a great place for targeting and marketing and spending, some of your marketing budget, because the average consumer, the average adult in the United States spends about an hour a day there. Well, actually it's 70% of American adults spend about an hour a day on Facebook. So if you can sort of imagine, as people are scrolling through and they're looking at their headlines in the middle of this column, they're going to see your ads there. And we have just made it incredibly easy to do by this new ad creator. Now, I'm going to tell you something else though, okay? And I need you to hear this because I have a lot of conversations with a lot of people who want more listings. And listings are a big part of growing your business. So I'm going to go over here to the landing page section. And I'm going to just kind of show you what most agents are thinking of when they think of listings. And so what I want you to understand is, while you might have heard that something like this, like a home valuation landing page, which you hopefully know are part of your account, you have access to these tools right now. Taking something like this and running an ad on Facebook is a great way to get listing leads. Okay. A lot of people know that. A lot of coaches have said that. We have said that. And I'm sure a lot of your colleagues know this, right? Let's get a home valuation landing page, go around on Facebook and drive people to it, and you're going to get listing leads. And that is true. It's true today. It's been true for years. But what it really means is you start collecting addresses, and sometimes you get email addresses. What it doesn't mean is you start getting a bunch of listing contracts. Okay. And that's a big, important distinction, because you can bang your head running Facebook ads and make mistakes. And you can get on training calls with us or other real estate marketing companies and learn how to run an ad on Facebook. And you might actually get good at that. But what that means is you start getting good at collecting addresses. Okay. Now, if you want to get good at collecting contracts for listings, well, then you need to kind of watch, what I'm going to show you right now, and really start to think about this platform, listings to leads. And that's because, like I said, we've been doing this for quite a while. Everything that we create is designed to capture leads. And somebody came in here last summer, you may have heard me reference this before, saying, who gets 2 listings or more a month, strictly from listings to leads, right? Two listings or more a month, right? I don't know how many listings you're managing, but if you could get 2 listings a month from our platform, I think you'd be pretty psyched. And a number of people jumped in, right? And we'll look here, and I think Alicia said, yeah, I got 2 listings from this from 1 mailing. And actually, I know she got 4 listings out of doing 1 mailing, just using one of our tools. But this guy up here is somebody that I want you to kind of hear. And he said, we average 2 listings from every marketed listing, all from L2L tools, Facebook ads, mailers, and open houses. We're trying to get this to above 3 this year. So what this means is every time this person markets his home with our system, markets his listing, he's using all of our tools and he's getting more listing. He is, of course, getting buyers, but our tools are designed to get more listing. And so I kind of need you to get that straight. I can't stress that enough. People are looking for a magic pill to get more listings. And they think that a home valuation landing page on Facebook is it. It is not it. It is a great way of collecting leads. And you can drip on them and do all kinds of great stuff like that. But if you need to grow your business, and if you need more listings every month, you should be looking at our tools inside the listing section, and you should be using them, right? Because there's a lot of automation. So I'm going to kind of drive us into it real quickly. I set up an open house here. And I just want you to know, so I'm not going to go into the details because we've done this a few times. So I'm not going to drag you through this all the way because it will make you, if you've seen this, we've been on a few calls together. If you've seen this before, you're going to know that you're tired of hearing me say this. But I'm going to click a couple right here. Your social media, your seller social media, virtual tour, e-flyer for your database, and print marketing. Okay. And I'm going to show you what it is. So now, first of all, this home here is in open house status. You should be doing these 5 functions when it's just listed. If you hold an open house, do it when it's open house again. If it's pending, I recommend you do it again, but definitely do it when it's sold. So at least hit your listings 3 times. Now, before I click in and show you how this works, function number 1, it happens automatically. You need to connect it. I'm going to show you how to connect in a minute. Function number 2, it happens automatically. I'm going to show you where you set that up, and you should set that up. And then it kind of requires a 5-second phone call because it's for your seller. So you're going to call your seller and say, I just sent you something. Would you post that? And that's a 5-second kind of, call. Virtual tour, you do this only 1 time when the listing first gets in the system. I'll show you what to do. We'll talk about it in a second. And then the e-flyer for your database, we really say once a week. If you have a lot of listings, the more often you use it, the more leads you get. And then print marketing is something that you don't have to do at every status, but people have found that this is the number 1 tool for getting listed leads. So let's just remember, market your home at least 1, 2, or 3 times or 4 times and do these 5 functions. Now, the first 2 are done automatically. You do virtual tour once. I'll show you how to do the e-flyer. But the print marketing deal, it's this nearby homeowner letter that we're talking about. And this, I'm going to just download it. You can edit it here, but I'm going to download it here. And I need you to kind of, digest this little bit of information I'm going to show you. This letter has nothing to do with the internet. It doesn't have to do anything with artificial technology or cloud computing or nothing like that. It just says that you're selling a home in their area. And if they want to find out about it, they can go here. You've got the text service, they can text it. But then it always says, when this home is sold, it's going to affect your home value. And to go get your free home value here. Now, this particular tool, it's designed for door knocking or mailing, right? And so we've got a lot of clients that mail this, and we found clients say, hey, every time we do a mailing of this, like 100 or 200 pieces, we get a listing. We get more listing leads, but we get a listing. Now, if you do a mail like this, you're not going to get like 50 leads in a weekend or even 25 in a weekend. That's what happens if you run an ad with this. But when you capture these leads from a random internet ad, you'll get a lot of leads, you'll get a lot of addresses, but it could take you a heck of a long time to turn it into an actual contract. When you use this, you might get a half dozen leads, but they now know that you are selling a home and that you can sell a home in their area. They'll go check it out. And if they're interested, they're going to get a home value. And these become the strongest, fastest converting listing leads that we have. Okay. Now, this guy, Dustin Fox here, who said, hey, that's my number one stuff. And then, Terry said, hey, what was the one thing that you did? Dustin came and said, do everything on the checklist, right? Do everything on the checklist. The checklist that we're talking about is this checklist. These 5 things is really what he does. Okay. And let's just go blast through this real quickly. This is a listing landing page. We'll see it here. And it's great at capturing leads. And up here, I've got social media auto posting turned on. So that means that I or you don't have to actually post this yourself. You can just turn it on, and I'm going to show you how to turn it on in a second. And then we will post it to your social media, to your Facebook business pages, if you have multiple pages, community pages, your LinkedIn accounts, and your Twitter accounts. We do it all at one time so that you don't have to do it, right? And notice here, like it's kind of populating, the picture's populating. It's got emojis, it's got hashtags, it's got a big picture. But also if I click on the picture, it's going to have a tool to capture leads for you, right? In this case, it's my listing landing page for the open house. So if the consumer wants more information, they got to cough up some contact with them. So the one thing I'm going to kind of point out is these hashtags. Now, you may not know what hashtags are, but they are indexed by both Twitter and LinkedIn. So if you have like 3 friends on Twitter and you never use it, if you're auto posting these things, the fact that you're posting something with hashtag realtor, real estate, and house hunting means a lot of people follow these things, and you're going to get a lot of people seeing them. So automatically you're on Twitter and you can capture leads. And the thing about, that in a listing presentation is from a social media advertising perspective, for you to be able to say, I post my virtual tours on YouTube, I post everything on Facebook, on community and business pages, and on Twitter and on LinkedIn is a pretty significant statement, because you are being hired to sell homes, but also you're being hired to market, and that's part of selling. And being able to speak pretty clearly about social media advertising is going to set you from a lot of other realtors. So I just want to repeat that this function, number 1, getting you to your social media, is done automatically. Number 2, when the listing hits our system, we email you something and you say, hey, drop your seller's email in, right? And we'll start sending these tools automatically. So I want to show you, and then we send you this email that looks like this. it is one of the, I think, most ignored tools that we create for agents, right? And it's partly our fault because we put a lot of information on it and expect you to read the instructions. And I know from doing this for 10 years that realtors do not want to read instructions from us. They really, we create them, we have all kinds of support pages. And if they don't hear it out of our lips on a call like this, it doesn't matter what we write, right? So imagine getting emails, which you do get emails every time you get a listing, and it's just like, ooh, I don't need to look at that. But this is actually one of the top tools, again, for getting high quality listing leads. So if you're interested in getting more listings, remember what I was saying earlier, you got to market your listings. These give you the highest quality leads, right? Listing leads. So this tool is meant for for the homeowner. So if you're the agent, when we send you that email in the beginning, we're telling you put the homeowner's email address and their name in there, and we'll send them the tool that I just copied from. And it's going to go to them and it's going to copy you, right? So you're going to get an email and you're going to see that tool like that went over to your homeowner. Pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, we've got this open house happening this weekend. Would you put this tool on your page? And just say, I'm doing all kinds of things. I've got stuff out. I've got mailers and all this, but please put it on your page so that, more people can see it. Now, for me, my name is Vincent Meza, and it's talking about me, Vincent Meza. That's not how it's going to be. It's going to be your client, the homeowner, saying you at your office, Lauren at Remax, is doing a lot of marketing, expect great turnout, right? And what that means is, your clients, friends, and family and colleagues on Facebook, they're going to know you're their realtor, that you're their realtor, their friend's realtor. And if you ever think about running a Facebook ad, which I'm going to assume that you have, a Facebook ad has a time limit, right? You 5 days, 7 days, and then it just disappears. This particular tool, there's no cost, and it doesn't disappear. And you'll find that people will show up on your page, and they'll become leads, and you don't quite know why or how that happened. And let me explain to you what I'm trying to say there. There are a lot of tools. We're going to look a little bit deeper into the tool in just a second. But I want to take us over to the mastermind group. And everything's moving slowly for me. That's great. Sorry, I'm just jumping around here since everything's taken so long. Wow, really? Right, so this is our mastermind group. You should all be in the mastermind group, and you should all be investing a little bit of time to get into what I'm saying here, because I can tell you, I'm going to show you a post, and I actually referenced this lady just a few minutes ago, named Alicia Pless, and Alicia answered that question about who here gets 2 listings or more a month. And she's come into the group and before, with separate from that response, and I'm going to show you what she has said, which actually just came in, I think, in July. And it was kind of funny because the message came in on like a Saturday morning, and I think I was the only person who was paying attention to the internet. And she said, okay, I'm having a moment, right? Last evening, I received a seller lead from my free home value, right? But here's the thing, and she wrote this at 4 a.m, so it was kind of not perfectly spelled. Here's the thing, I didn't send out a letter to the subdivision. It's the letter I was talking about earlier. I didn't put an email blast in constant contact. And I don't have any advertising running right now. So what is going on? Why am I getting listing leads, right? So I asked her, I said, well, are you using these tools for your seller? She said, yeah. I said, oh, well, then your client's friend or colleague or cousin or whoever woke up and logged into Facebook and realized that their friend sold their home. And if they clicked on that, they would have been brought to a place where you would capture them in a listing link. So I want to show you this. This is a single property website. And this is a single property website for the open house we were looking at. And what you don't know, and so when earlier in the call, Dustin said they get 2 or 3 more listings just by advertising their listings, that kind of doesn't make sense to people. Like, what is that about? Well, one thing it's about is right here. It says, what is your home worth? Right? Now, if I click that link, that's going to open up my home valuation landing page. And as you know, that's going to get listing leads for me, right? But if I scroll down, just looking at the property, there's another graphic right there. What is your home worth? Right? I keep going. I look at the maps and the photos and the other cool stuff. Prints. Here's your reviews. Got them on Zillow. More listings. You can even have your own video of you, how awesome you are. But then there's this big footer. What is your home worth? Right? So we do this because we know what you know and what you don't kind of practice. It's that if I wake up today, or if anybody wakes up in the United States and says, I want to sell my house, do you think that they just pick up the phone and start calling realtors off of Google or something like that? Nobody opens up a phone book anymore, right? So do you think that that's what goes on? Because I think what goes on is that people start researching on the internet for months. They start looking at what's for sale in their market because they want to sell their home. And they want to do that until they're good and ready to talk to a realtor. So if you're marketing your listings 2 or 3 or 4 times by saying, hey, it's just listed and it's open house and we got it under contract and we sold, there are multiple opportunities for you to capture seller leads. I want to also point out, you see this here, it's like it's an open house, right? Open house on Sunday. When the call to action comes up, it says, what's your name, phone number. And then it also says, do you own a home? You can't get beyond this page if you don't say yes or no. And if you say yes, it says, do you need to sell it or buy one? Again, we know this. You know this. Plenty of people who you find as buyer leads actually own a home and they need to sell it. So that's kind of the deal. And that's why if you market your listings with listings to leads consistently, and by marketing, I mean getting these 5 things done at least 2, 3, or 4 times for each listing, meaning just listed, open house, pending, and sold. But that does, that's how you do it. That will help you. The next one is virtual tour, and Florin, I don't think Remax doesn't have like a syndication platform of its own, right? It's got to go through the MLS or something like that, right?
Yes, we do, but we have ListHub as well. I have an account to ListHub, so we syndicate through ListHub as well.
Yeah, that's right. So ListHub. So the thing I want to talk about here is virtual tours, and I want to talk about the lead gen virtual tour. Okay, and the reason being is that the lead gen virtual tour. Well, one, consumers love virtual tours, and our lead gen virtual tour, as you can imagine, captures leads. Now, this as it's pulling up, it kind of looks really familiar, right? This is the same architecture as the single property website. So if you have let's just say a super awesome property, like a super awesome marquee, property that you want to really showcase, and you maybe had hired a videographer or something like that, well, you could use the luxury one over here. And the only difference in the luxury, we'll pull it up real quickly, is that it's full screen, and it's definitely way more about the photos, way more about the video. So if any of you invest in videography, you're paying somebody to shoot videos of a home, and they give you those videos, that's really awesome. There is a value for video. We are all, no place to read anymore. Movies, moving things are awesome. But I have not seen one videographer in the country who can attach call to actions to their videos. They just look awesome. So you're putting things out there and you cannot capture leads, right? So if you can imagine that your video is covering this whole thing, and then you say, you know what, I want this call to action button to pop up in 30 seconds. and capture leads for me. That's kind of an awesome thing, right? If you're doing that, and then use the luxury one. But if you're not, you just got, some sort of standard kind of homes that fly off the market and you want to capture leads, I recommend you use the lead gen one. And even if you had a videographer and you put it in here, it would just take up this box. So you'd still have all your lead capture, like what is your home worth over here? You'd still have, this page that I showed you earlier, which is, the lead capture, which will ask you if you're a homeowner. And then down on the virtual tour, like I showed you on the property website, there are going to be big banners that are saying, well, what is your home worth? So, yeah, and then down here, I was talking to a realtor, and they have
For years, my husband and I
right.
So much
You can snap in, a picture of your cool car and all that, and this is great. So what do you do with a virtual tour? My recommendation is go find your listing, and you can only do this with your own listing. Go find your listing on Julia, log in, edit your listing, and drop in this virtual tour. That's it. And you only need to do it one time, because if you take that, and right when the listing hits our system, we email the branded virtual tour to you. In your email, you can literally open it from your phone, go to Zillow, and drop it in. And essentially, you can forget it, because when you come back to listings to leads later, and this is the thing that I definitely want you to remember, on the listings to leads page, you can change it from active to under contract, right? And once you do that, we're going to send you a new stack of tools, but the virtual tour changes in the background. So you don't need to go back to the virtual tour in Zillow. You just leave it there and it will update in the background. But let's go back to our list and let's talk about a couple more things. And I'm just going to show you these last things, and then we're going to go into other new features that were just released in listings to leads. So just bear with me a minute. So the e-flyer for your database is for your CRM. If you have a CRM, if you've got hundreds or you've got thousands of people in your CRM, ideally you're dripping something on them, right? And again, like most real estate advertising, there is no call to action in your drip campaigns. There's just nice text about real estate. And it sort of keeps your name and your email address in front of people, but there is no way to capture a lead from it. And so you're kind of expecting with a drip campaign that somebody will one day respond to the email or pick up the phone and call you, right? But I have not heard from anybody of a CRM that's getting their phone ringing off the hook. So in this, I'm showing you my signature. I've got multiple hyperlinks that are driving to my website. I've got my Zillow reviews there. I've got what is my home worth there. Those are all call to action. This home, as you know, is open house. I can click on this picture or I can click on that link, and out of the email, I'm going to end up as a buyer lead on one of those tools that we've been looking at, right, for the open house. But then it, like everything else, it says when it's sold, it's going to affect your home value. So I could also just click and become a seller lead, all from one email. It's pretty easy to drop this in a database, or if you have constant contact, click copy code here, and it gets all the HTML code. You go over to your mail system, you paste it in, you click it so that it looks graphical, and you blast it out. We really recommend that you do this at least once a week. And if you don't have your own listings, borrow a listing and do that anyway, because if you've got leads in your database, you just don't want them sitting there doing nothing. You want to convert those leads into business somehow, and our e-flyers are really excellent for that. Now, the last thing is the print marketing, which we actually went over. It is the nearby homeowner, right? So I'm going to show you a couple of examples of the nearby homeowner letter in our mastermind group. And I'm going to remind you, Florin, I think all your team is in our mastermind group, right? I mean,
I think so. I mean, if you are not, just let me know and I can send. I can add you and you guys can approve them, right? Because right. It's a closed group.
It's a closed group. It's only for our clients. And it's where we make our announcements. It's where a lot of agents talk about what's working and also ask questions when something is not working. So earlier I was mentioning Dustin Fox, who's up in Maryland. But when I first heard about Dustin, he's in an office just like you. So Florin here has made listings to leads available to your office for almost 3 years, or is it longer? Florin, I can't even remember. But
At least 7.
oh my God, you see, it's the COVID. It's just gelled my brain here. 7 years. Oh my goodness.
At least.
Okay. Well, forgive me. Jeez. Okay. So, you know, and I've even been in your office. I flew down there a couple years ago, right? And we did that nice call at the that nice meeting. Yeah, and that was cool. But I don't often get the time to meet every agent because, you know, you guys got dozens or hundreds of agents. So I don't talk to every agent. But I did set up an office, just like Florin has your office, makes this available to all of you. And I set up this office up in just south of Washington, D.C. And this agent comes in one day and says, I have to say the highest ROI in our business has been the neighborhood flyer. And the neighborhood flyer is this letter that I was mentioning, right? And now I'm lost. And what he says is, hey, I took that letter and I printed 250 copies and I stuffed them in nice black envelopes with my calendar, my one-page calendar, branded calendar. And I mailed them first class. He even went to Canva and made this little one-page Zillow review thing, and he shoved that in there. And his thought was, if I mail that first class and I put it in a custom envelope, people will open it, right? He got, at this time, I think he got 4 listings. He actually got 10 listings from one mailing for a $625 spend. And so he made like 170 grand in commission. And so that is a really high ROI, and I can understand that, right? If you look at this, if you get in the mastermind group, I suggest you go look at the comments. There are agents all over the country replicating this, including Alicia Pless, who I'm not going to show you again, who basically has come in here and says, every time I mail that letter, I get 1 listing. I get more listing leads, but I get at least 1. And I think anytime you can do one function, like one activity, and get a listing, you want to keep doing that. And that's one of the top tools. That is our number one tool for not capturing the most amount of listing leads, but the most amount of listing leads that actually convert into business. And so, yes.
Can you show them again, Vince, please, where they can find the letter?
Yeah. So every time you have a listing, it's under print marketing. But let's just go to listing. And I want to, one question that comes up is, should I do this when it's just listed? Should I do this when it's sold? Should I do this when it's open house? I don't think actually any of those statuses matter. But if you want a listing in that neighborhood, then you have to use this tool. Because remember, if you go take a page like this and say, hey, I want leads in Wesley Chapel, well, it's going to overshoot 15 miles. Anyway, you can't tighten the ad on Facebook. And it's also like a little more random. It's an internet lead. But this letter, if you take it and mail it and say, I'm selling something in your neighborhood, well, now there's just a connection right there. So if you click on the task list or the tool list, you will get to, and again, it's at any status. And let's give it a second. Yeah. 7 years. That's amazing. Down here, print marketing, it's the nearby homeowner letter, right? So normally print does not excite people, right? It's not internet. But this letter here should excite you if you want to grow your business. And I can tell you, even if you download it right here, let's just say you don't have listings, right? And let's say Florin has some listings, right? And he's got listings in some cool neighborhood that you would love to build a business in, but you don't have listings, right? And you don't have a way of doing that. You could actually borrow a listing by going to your listings page and grabbing a listing by clicking the add listing here, grab a listing, and it'll pull it in and create all the tools that I've just shown you. Now, you wouldn't be able to use the seller tool if you're borrowing a listing, but everything else you can use. You can get great reach and you can get great leads. Okay. So that's how you market listings. And the reason why I've gone so far down into that is literally, God, for every 2 agents I speak to, one wants listings, right? It's probably way more than that as a percentage. It's a big topic. And I have to just repeat it, that the best way to get listings is to market your listings with our system, because there's so many hooks to capture listing links. Okay. So let's talk about a couple new things. And then if you have questions, I don't know if you want to type them in the chat panel. I'll open it up for questions after. So there's a little video here about the 3-click Facebook ad. I just showed you that. Really simple. I definitely recommend that you are using that. And one thing I didn't say is we're going to be adding landing pages to that. Right now, you can just market your listing. We're also going to be adding Facebook lead forms, which means there's an actual lead form in Facebook ads. You may or may not know about it. It's very powerful if you want phone numbers. And we're also going to be making it to where you can run content ads and video ads. So if you want something really slick and video and stuff, but you don't know how to do it because it's actually not super easy, it's going to be made really easy here. So get familiar with that. On the listings page, really, I got to do this again. Give me a second. When you log in, I don't know if you've all logged in recently. Yeah, here we go. You should see something like this. And the minute that you fill out these 6 boxes, this will disappear and you don't need it, and you don't need it anymore. But if you see these, fill these out. And it says like 2 minutes for each. I would say this exercise is going to take you about 10 minutes to do. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to move a little bit slowly because I'm going to explain it to you. But just start with the first one, finish profile. Honestly, your profile is finished because you've been with us for 7 years, so it's probably pretty good. But if you need to update something, there you go. Then you just click next. And the office logo is already there. Do you need your title or the office phone? Well, you add it there. Next, right? Legal. Is there a legal description that is required from your MLS where you can add it there? Make sure your time zone is your own time zone. I'm in the Pacific, so that's why it says that. There we go. Now it says, great. The profile's set. Let's connect your social media. So you've heard me talk about social media auto posting. Right here is where you connect it. And all you got to do is click connect to Facebook. We'll push you over to Facebook, and you'll connect as yourself, as your personal account. But then the next page will say, what business pages do you want to post to? And then you choose those, you click yes and okay and done, and it brings you back here. And then connect to Twitter and connect to LinkedIn. If you don't have LinkedIn and Twitter accounts, I suggest you get them. They are very well known and top social media platforms. And by connecting it in this place here, we're going to help you advertise for free without you doing anything, without you lifting a finger, right? Just get your listings in and update the status, and you're going to be essentially a social media marketing guru. And then here, this just shows you the pages, and that's awesome. Then this is the social media post. So I've shown you a couple of things over on Facebook. This is what it looks like. So you don't really even need to do anything. You just click done. And then it says, great, let's import your listing. You could actually skip this, but I'm going to slow down here because this is really when you're setting up for the first time. And there is another new feature that we just released, and this is for agents that have no listings or 1 listing or 2 listings, or maybe they don't have listings in an area that they want to market, right? Like, I don't know Wesley Chapel that well. I got to drive around, but it was all covered by trees. And so let's just say that I'm working in your office and I really want to build my business in Tampa, but I don't have anything going on in Tampa. There's a button here that says, don't have listing. Okay, well, let's click that. This is My Farm Dominator, and My Farm Dominator is in the listings page. So what am I going to call it? I'm going to call it Tampa. Nobody sees that. It's just, that's my Tampa, and I'm going to have a Tampa thing there. And what's the location? I'm going to say Tampa, Florida, right? And what do I want? Oh, well, I could go back. You can actually bracket the price in the bedrooms. I must have hit something and it jumped up. But now I can pull in multiple listings. And if I have my social media turned on, which I do because you watched me do it about a minute ago, it will not only pull these things into my account, it will create tools. I'll show you the tools in a minute. And all the leads from those tools will come back to me. And so they will create those tools, and then we'll start to auto post them. So I'm going to skip this because I've already got some in there, and then it'll waste time if I'm downloading them. And it says, great.
Vince, I gotta add something. Just be careful with that. You have to have the permission of the broker of that listing. So, because otherwise you're gonna get in trouble with the MLS.
Okay. That's so I'm going to show you something related to that in just a minute. So we're going to come back to that. The next step here says, let's generate seller leads, right? And here I'm going to, again, since I pulled in listings in Tampa, I'm going to just say Tampa. I want it in Tampa, and I would drop in the zip code and create landing page, right? So what this does is this creates a home valuation landing page automatically, just like this one, okay? So all you should do is upload a picture of Tampa in the background right there, and then click done. And I'm going to sneeze here, so forgive me. It says, great, let's excuse me. It says, great, let's share this, right? And what does that mean? Well, let's share it to social media. And it says, oh, this is what it's going to look like. It will have your picture in there if you've changed it. And then click next. And it says if there's no valuation, it'll look like that. And you just click next. And let's see. You can either schedule it to go at a particular time here or post now. Okay. And so what that does, I'm going to close this. We're finished, right? We're finished with setting up and connecting all of our accounts to social media. We pulled in listings. If we had our own, you should be getting your own listings already. My Farm Dominator you can use to borrow listings, and we created a landing page. So for you, I want to make sure you're using social media auto posting. So that's like number one. Also, getting a home valuation landing page is always smart. So let's go to listings here, and we were talking about My Farm Dominator, and if you want to go and approach it later, you can also go right here. My Farm Dominator is up here under Add Listing on the top right. You can also grab listing. So if you're working with a listing, if you actually know somebody pretty well, and hey, can I borrow your listing and use it? Maybe you're holding an open house for another agent. Use Grab Active Listing. My Farm Dominator is where it's going to pull it without even you knowing, and I kind of showed you that. But I want to show you something about these tools. You don't get as many tests, and kind of to what Florin was just saying, you could get in trouble for using listings in a certain way because there are rules, there are MLS rules. We have created this with our partner ListHub. So we went back and forth about what can we deliver to you as an agent without getting you running afoul, right? And so they said, well, you can use these tools. You can't print. Remember I mentioned the print marketing tool like this? Like, actually, you can't print photos of another agent's unless they told you you can use it, right? So in this way, because we're kind of more randomly grabbing things, we can use this. Now, I don't know if you can see it. Let me click on it here. One of the rules for marketing other people's listings is that it must reference the listing agent. And so this listing and all of the tools that are created in My Farm Dominator, they always say listing courtesy of the listing agent, right? But any leads captured go to you. So this is great to get out on social media. It'll go up automatically. It will also, you could boost it there and get lots of people to see it, and can just capture a bunch of leads, right? There's a social media share if you want to push something on Instagram. And then Instagram kind of looks like that. And, e-flyer for your database. If you got blogs, you can do that too. So that's kind of a big deal. And definitely, what is that guy's name? There's another agent that's been using this, And let me see if I can find them. So, Florin, I don't know the local rules because there's so many MLSs. But that tool that I just showed you, we've got agents who are generating like a lot of leads because it's just a very simple tool. And you put it out on, it goes up, and then you just boost it from there. And gosh darn it, I've been looking at this. Forgive me for dragging you guys through this because, but I do want you to see this. That this guy puts about, I think he says, what's that?
I would say for now is, just use our in-office listings and, as a courtesy, just reach out to the listing agent. Let's say, it's a listing listed by whoever, let's see who's on the call. It's Patrick, and Judy wants to market it. Judy, just reach out to Patrick and say, hey, can I push your listings on Facebook? And, just, it's more marketing. I mean, you're more than free to use any of mine. I mean, my goal is to sell the house. So, I would say for now, do that until I get clarification if we can do this with any MLS listings. I don't know if it falls, the reason I'm saying that, I don't know if it falls under the same category as IDX. Because in IDX, anybody takes our listings, markets it on their website, and just puts listing courtesy of Remax Premier Group. But I don't know if this type of marketing falls under the same category. So I have to get clarification on that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly that. God, I wish I could remember this, guys. Sorry, I'm dragging you through this. But basically, it's a very effective thing. So you find out, but like Florin is saying, just borrowing a listing can work just as easily, right? You can get a lot of things out there, and you can run ads with it. You can boost it once it's auto posted, and things like that. So that's kind of the new stuff, right? The wizard that's on the homepage. Use that to connect all of your social media, get your landing page created. See, it disappeared on my homepage because now I'm not here. I do want to kind of point this out, and Florin, I don't know if you can email this to everybody, but inside everybody's account is a getting started page, right? And this is something that we email to you, but it's usually something that most realtors will ignore. And if I could get you to follow anything, it would be that there's an article down here that says, want more listings, top similar lead gen tools. And this kind of references what I've been talking about, the top tools ranked on how fast these leads turn into an actual listing. At the bottom of this list is taking a home valuation landing page and putting it on Facebook. All these other things go up. Number one is the print flyer for nearby homeowners, right? Which is this letter. And so there's one last thing I want to point out, and I'm going to see if I can give it to you. Now, when I've been talking a little bit about this guy, Dustin Fox, and I talked about Alicia Pless, and I kind of mentioned that Alicia, when I showed you the post that she put in our mastermind group last year, she went from being an agent in another office to creating her own office and hiring her own agents. And she did that. And in that time, she started using our tools and just was cranking out listings and growing her business, which is awesome. Dustin Fox did a call with us in January and was gracious enough to tell us, hey, I've been in the business for 4.5 years. My office has made this available to me for 2 years. And I've gone from doing 50 million to 20 million in production. And 80% of my business comes from your tools. And I was kind of blown away. And that's why he wanted to be on the call, because he's like, I want other people to know, like, this is what it can do. And I said, going from 5 to 20 million and 80% of that is coming from us. How much time did you put in that, right, to do that? And he said 2 hours a week. He said, I take my daughter to ballet and I go to the nearby Starbucks. And while she's dancing, I set up and work in listing leads for 2 hours. And that's how this guy went from 5 to 20 million. And that's why 80% of his business is coming from us. This page I'm showing you here is at the bottom of our deal. I'm going to see if I can send it to you on this call right now. And what I want you to know is on this page, you can click and register and watch live classes like this one. Or you can just on your own time find out how to leverage video in listings to leads. If you have Matterport videos, how do you snap that in so you capture leads? How do you market your listings, whether they're borrowed or yours? We actually covered it, but you might have been distracted or I was confusing. How to get buyers and sellers when you don't have listings. This is covered here. Free and cheap lead gen, right? That's kind of makes sense if you want to watch your budget right now. Great. Geographic, I'm not too interested, but top 7 seller lead gen tools, I definitely want you to know how to use all those things. Facebook ad review is really good. I actually talk about, I review people's ads and I say, because kind of how we started the call, how agents run ads and they don't get their results. Well, why is that? It's usually just a couple of settings, but honestly, if you're not live with one of us, or maybe even particular me, you're not going to know why you're wasting time and money on it. This call here actually covers that. But with that, I will bring us back to this page right here, ads. If you want to market your listings and run ads on Facebook, use this ad creator here. This is bulletproof. This will remove any ability of you making a mistake. And it's literally 3 clicks. So I'm going to send this to you. And let's see if I can actually send it inside GoToMeeting. And does anybody have any questions? Because, let's see, there's a chat panel there. I just sent this article to everyone, this page to everybody. Honestly, I recommend that you open it and that you bookmark it and that you take a little bit of time. It will get a little bit repetitive. If you watch all these, it'll get a little bit repetitive. But just go for the ones that you need to know. And then you'll realize, okay, I got it, right? Like 2 or 3 of these videos, you will know our system. If you can unlock the value of our system, your business will grow. We see it happening all over the country. So Florin, thanks for having me. I will tell you this.
Sure.
We've got more new tools coming out in this month and next month. And keep an eye on the mastermind group. There's some powerful stuff happening.
Any sneak peek, not necessarily sneak peek, I don't want you to show us, but anything that you can tell us what's coming up?
Yeah, let me think. Yeah. What is coming up? Yeah. This right here, I kind of mentioned it. This is going to be, we're adding landing pages.
Okay.
We're also adding, we're going to have a whole new section of content. So the one thing about like social media is you want to have content to just stay fresh in front of people. Again, not to be repetitive, but on Facebook, 70% of adults in the United States spend an hour a day there, right? And so if you want to have content that's kind of relevant and captures leads, that could be, kind of daunting. So we're actually creating a library of video content, of photographic content, of PDFs and free reports that you can create landing pages on, so that you kind of got like a powerhouse behind you in listings to leads. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say there?
Yep, absolutely.
That's a bit of a mouthful. And frankly, I don't even like looking at it because it's like huge. It's like a library of content, all with hooks to capture leads. But we see agents all the time sharing things on social media, lots of colorful things, but just no lead capture. And that's not our thought process. Our thought process is if an agent is sending an email, shooting a video, doing this, doing that, they better capture a lead. And that's why there's so many tools in here to help you do that. And there are just going to be more. Florin, one more thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you have our recruiting platform, but if you don't, I need to turn it on for you. We've just relaunched it. It's awesome. And let's talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. Any questions for Vince, guys?
Okay, here I am. And I'm going to have a question.
Okay, Derek.
So I actually have several, but I'll just choose one for right now because I don't want to take everybody's time. But you showed that one point how that you scrolled down on something, whatever it was, that it had videos and reviews. I
Yes.
think it was one of the landing pages. Is that right?
No.
Or-
Well, yeah. So let me answer that.
How did they get there? Question.
Yeah. Let's. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to click on the task list. I'm going to give you a little bit of a long answer, just so that you fully understand this. Those the photos, the brochures, the video of that lady talking, and all that. It's under the lead gen virtual tour here, and the single property website here. The
Okay.
way that I got you there, let me shrink this, is I was saying, hey, post this out, which is the listing landing page. So the listing landing page is the first tool that you use to capture the lead. And then once you've captured the lead, well, now when you capture the lead, we drop them automatically on the single property website, or maybe they got to the virtual tour. And so that's where all that was. Does that make sense?
But how do you get that on there? I mean, you don't have any videos from me that I'm aware of, nor do you have any reviews, do you?
Well, okay,
So
that's a good question. Okay. How do you get that in there? To turn on your Zillow reviews, and here's another thing that we're adding. Right now, Zillow has an API. It's a software plugin that we have, and in your preferences page on listings to leads, you can say show my Zillow reviews, and as long as this email address matches what's inside Zillow for you, we'll sweep them in and they'll be on your things there. Now the video question is a slightly different one. So I'm going to go to listings first, and I think it was in this open house. So I'm going to click on edit on this listing. And just where you would think, like, I'm going to edit photos and videos. Guess what? There's a tab right here that says fit photos and videos. Okay. And in this case, let's wait to get there. I clicked on video or 3D tour. So the 3D tour is for Matterport, right? But you paste in your YouTube video right here, and then it will replace or be embedded in there. Now, there's another way to do it, and this is how we kind of did it for that one. Is you see leads, not leads, wrong place. Stop. Tabs. I think we're going to rename this, but right now, this, depending on the kind of video that you have, you might want to use tabs. And so you see this one here that says working with Lynn. I think that's the video that we did. And so, yeah, that's right. And I assigned it to only one of my listings, that Berkeley one, right? But you could add a tab here and paste in and say, what's the tab name? It's like work with me, right? And so it really depends on the kind of video that you have. And you can say, I want this video, which is an awesome expose on me, to be on all of my listings, right? Paste in the YouTube video here and select which one, select all. And any new listings, I want that commercial about me to be on every one of my listings.
Okay.
So that's something.
So we need to add the tabs.
Yeah, that's tabs if you need something to cover. You know, you might say, hey, I am a professional in Central Florida. Like, I got my game down. And you have a video saying that, I would create it here. If you've got a listing from a videographer about a particular home, I would make that happen under edit at the listing level. And you can actually have both videos. Right.
Yeah, the house video. Yeah, I know the house video. It was the other one. It was the video like, here's a little bit about me kind of thing.
Okay.
Because I've got a big ego. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway.
Yeah. What other question, Carrie? Because that's a good question.
Okay, so the virtual tour. Oh, on the virtual tour, if we use the automatic virtual tour in the multiple listing when we list it and we allow them to do it, that goes ahead and carries over to listings to leads. If I don't want that in listings to leads and I want to use the listings to leads video,
Well,
you see, I want to change it because I know the listing pulls into you guys, but I want your guys' virtual tour. There you go.
I'm a little bit confused. So let me walk through what I understand or think about virtual tours. So when you talk about the MLS virtual tour, is that created by the MLS?
Yes.
And so is it a pan and zoom of photographs, or do they shoot a real video?
Can
No,
I
it's just a
interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can or you can't. You don't have to do it. If you mark the box, create a virtual tour or create it for you. If you don't
Correct.
mark it, it will not create it. So you can go in here, copy the link, and maybe Vince will show you the virtual tour link and the non-branded MLS virtual tour link, and because that's an MLS, and paste it in MLS on that box where it says, virtual tour. You follow me?
I'm aware of that, but my actual question is if I missed that box, because I did. Okay, so if I miss that box and it does the automatic tour and then it bleeds into listings to leads.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. That virtual tour from your MLS does not go here. We create our own pan and zoom under.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I understand now.
And I will
You answered it.
I'll tell you this about virtual tours too. I only mentioned the Zillow thing. Like take your virtual tour, like this branded one here, and this is the non-branded one. So I want you to always, for me, I'm always focused on lead gen, so I'm going to tell you to use a lead gen virtual tour. Hey, what is that here? Just messed up my account. I would also recommend that you take this and just go run an ad on it. So there are often times where agents, they have just a few listings or one listing, or they've got a listing that's like sitting there and not moving. People like virtual tours, right? And so running an ad, driving to a virtual tour where it actually says, in all caps, virtual tour will get people to click and, and just say, hey, you know what? Beautiful house. Sorry, it's my computer's running really slow here. Okay. And then put in your regular stuff and paste in the virtual tour. I would do that if I was like kind of in that place where I don't have a lot of tools to market, but I got a listing here, it's not moving. I would create a post on my business page like this and then boost it or run an ad and drive traffic to it to get people to get to the virtual tour with the all caps of virtual tour, because people want to see virtual tours. If they're sitting in their office working or they're home working and they're looking at Facebook and they see something go, oh, virtual tour, boom, they'll be on it because that's a very popular tool. So that's it. That's it for the virtual tour show. But what other questions?
Okay, here's my last question. My last question is on the automatic posting for Facebook, because right before this webinar, I did go because it said something about it looks different when you first open it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on, and yes, it did look different, but I went ahead and did everything I was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So on the Facebook, I just recently had this. I also I'm in the chamber, so there's other Facebook pages that I'm the admin person for.
Yeah.
Or it's actually my page, but it's for a different purpose.
Okay.
And I went the other day to look for something on one of them, and all of these ads for real estate for me was on them all. So on that auto posting, I only want it to post to my business Facebook page. And can I set it to do that?
So yeah, you definitely can. So there are two ways to do it. You can go to get started and turn them off, but you can also go to your profile here. And let me
Okay.
I'm gonna go to my profile. Auto posting is right here with a red pill on it.
Yep, I had already set it all up.
Yeah. And you see here, I've got 2 business pages for Facebook.
Yes.
You have multiple ones too. Get rid of the
Yes.
ones you don't want.
Okay, gotcha.
Just there's a
Good.
X there. You just get rid of them, save, and you're done.
Okay, thank you. That's what I needed.
Yeah. I'm going to mention something else I forgot to mention earlier. We've talked about social media auto posting related to listings, and Terry, you were just asking about that. And you set that up here for listing. But also, we can auto post your home valuation landing pages. And we'll do it here. This auto post, you still need to go run an ad. So this is kind of cool, but when we update the ads creator up here, this is going to be way more powerful than auto posting. But we also auto post the down payer assistance or first time home buyer landing page. So if you don't
Cool.
do these things yourself, you could set it up right here. We've also got new construction, and you can see you can do it every week or bi-weekly or monthly. And that's cool also. And those tools, those landing pages are already available. So you can sort of think about, do you want to talk to people who need down payer assistance or first time home buyers? You can customize that landing page. I don't know if you guys have new construction. Typically in Florida, there's something new coming down, right? This is a great landing page that's automatically generated, and it's inside the landing page section. It's really wise for you to take it and get it out in front of people, and social media is a great place to do that. And on your profile, you can do it automatically. Like I said, we're going to have auto posting, which is set up on your profile page, is cool. Okay, auto posting is great. It is not as great as running an ad, and I'm going to explain this to you, and then I'll answer more questions. I'm going to take you to our business page. Now, I've shown you our mastermind group. That is a private group. It's only for our clients. You should be in there. You can ask Floor, and he can add you in there. We'll approve it. But this is our public page. And I really need you to understand this about Facebook. We have 13,000 people that follow our business page, right? We share kind of information about our company, what we're doing, and this and that to help people kind of learn about us. But you can't get in our mastermind group until you become a client, right? And the reason why I'm pointing this out is I want you to remember there are 13,000 people that follow this page. And I auto post here. We post a lot of things here, right? We post all kinds. And so I auto post from my account, like my demo account that you've been looking at, we'll give it a second, to our page. And notice that how many people are getting reached. Like this is some post we did about some new technology, 164 people. This one we boosted, so 3,800 people saw it. If I don't boost it, 38 people saw it, right? This one not boosted, 209 people, 145. I need you to understand that what is I would call organic reach is minimal. It's like 5%. So if you got 500 people on your business page, only 5% of the people who follow your page will ever see anything you post on this thing. It's not until you boost it that you get thousands of people to see it, and you can boost for a few bucks. Does that make sense? Because a lot of people, while we're talking about auto posting, and I'm saying, hey, yeah, go turn on auto posting for new construction and your listings and this and that, it just means it's getting there. It doesn't mean it's going to be seen by thousands of people. If you want it to be seen by thousands of people, then you definitely need to take the next step and boost it. But I would also tell you the way easier step. If it's related to a listing, even if you have auto posting turned on. So if you have auto posting turned on, let me say one more thing. And auto posting gets to let's see if I can find a post up here. This is auto posting. This will auto post to your business page. We already know now that only 5% of my followers are ever going to see this. If I went and ran an ad, that ad would not be seen on my business page. I don't know if you guys know that. It just will not be there. It's just the way that Facebook works. So I would say turn on auto posting to get to your business page for that random rare person that will see it. But if you want to get thousands of people to see your property, get over here to the ads creator in listings to leads, click this button, choose your listing, any status you want, and go for it. Type in the word Tampa or Wesley Chapel, and then push it. And this is bulletproof, right? Type in your city down here, which is your location, and then if you want to change your budget, you can, and publish. Oh, let me show you. Yeah. So that's it. Any other
All right,
questions?
guys. Any other questions? Because we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes, and I'm thankful for Vince to doing it over an hour. But yeah, I'm mindful of his time too. So, any questions, guys? This is gonna be, it's recorded. Vince will give it to me. I will upload it on our internet on Converse, and you should reference back if it's something that you missed, or you should go back and starting with listings to leads and click on some of those links as well. So you can learn a lot from their training.
Right, that's right. Okay, well, thanks everybody. Florin, thanks for having me, and thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Get involved. It really pays off, and we'd love to hear how it's really helping your business grow too.
Yeah, education without implementation is just pure entertainment. So remember that.
That's good.
So,
Thanks, Florin. Be safe,
all
everybody.
right.
Take care.
Bye.